Okay, good afternoon to all. Today we are going to learn the DDA line drawing algorithm, and we are going to see the implementation part of the DDA line drawing algorithm with the help of the C program. Okay, so I'm sharing my PPTs, or rather I'm sharing my screen. Okay, now we are going to take a short review of whatever we have learned in the DDA line algorithm, so that it is possible for us to implement or see the program, how it is implemented to the C program and how the line is generated. Okay, practical implementation of DDA line drawing algorithm. Okay, so as we already studied it, so we are considering here the x1 and y1. Okay, the points x1 and y1, these are considered as the starting of the points of the line, and x2 and y2 are considered as the end points of the line. X1, Y1 starting point of the line, X2, Y2 is the end point of the line. Okay. Now this integer function and the sign function generally is not required in our program. Okay, immediately, because we are working into the positive quadrant. Okay, so when we start drawing the diagram or line in the negative values, then definitely this is required. Okay, but for a simple program, it is not required. Okay. Now, what is the first thing that we are going to do in this case is we are going to find out the length of the line. Okay, what is the length? Okay, and just now we have seen the length is nothing but it is the we can say the maximum between x2 minus x1 and y2 minus y1. Okay, so absolute x2 minus x1. Okay, if it is greater than absolute y2 minus y1, okay, then we are calculating the length. Okay, the length will be x2 minus x1. Okay, so if x2 minus x1 is greater than or equal to y2 minus y1, we assign this highest value, means delta x, highest of delta. If not, then means y2 minus y1 is, if it is greater, we assign the length is equal to absolute y2 minus y1. Okay, so simply we are going to assign the highest value between x2 minus x1 or y2 minus y1, whichever is higher, is assigned to the length. Okay. Now after that, after what we are going to do is we are going to calculate the value of delta x and delta y. Okay, so we calculate what is delta x and we calculate what is the value of delta y. Okay, so what is delta x? So delta x is nothing but x2 minus x1 upon length. Just now we have calculated length. So x2 minus x1 upon length is delta x, and delta y is nothing but y2 minus y1 upon length. Okay, so y2 minus y1 minus length is delta x and delta y. So next step is to calculate the delta x and the calculate the delta y. Okay, after that, what, see, now we are pointing, I'm just explaining from the C program point of view. Okay, not algorithm point of view. So after this delta x and delta y calculation, okay, we are going to calculate or initialize what is x and what is y value. Okay, so obviously the x is equal to x1 plus 0.5 and y is equal to y1 plus 0.5, x1 plus 0.5 and y1 plus 0.5. Okay, and then after knowing the initial value of x and y, we are going to start with the loop. Obviously the i's value is assigned to 1. The loop condition is I is less than or equal to length. Okay, means I value will move from I to length. Okay, then now as all this my calculation, you can find the x is 0.5 is added, means it will be floating point, y is also floating point. So in the set pixel or put pixel function, I just take the integer value of x and integer value of y, and that pixel is plot or pixel is drawn. Then I am adding x is equal to x plus delta x is added into x, and y is equal to delta y. So delta y is added into the y value, and obviously the I is incremented so that we can continue with the while loop. Okay, so when I come out of this while loop, you come to know that, or we can find the line is drawn or the line is plot. Okay, so this is the quick review of DDA line drawing algorithm. Now we are going to move to the Turbo C editor, where I have written the program. Okay, just 1 minute. I'm just okay, so I'm just opening the Turbo C editor here. Okay, Turbo C++. Okay, so I'm opening the DOS box at this side, and now you can find the program is available. Okay, so instead of wasting the time in typing all these things, I have directly typed this program, as per our algorithm. Okay, so whenever you are starting doing any program in the C, okay, so you make the habit of writing down in the comment what is the purpose of the program. Okay, so our program is program to implement a DDA line drawing algorithm. Okay, as we seen in the initial program, we have seen that we must include the stdio.h, conio.h, and after this two, okay, I think I have implemented. There is need for us to implement the math.h. Okay, header file math.h. Okay, I write it as, okay, I write this in comment. It includes mathematical, okay, mathematical CAL functions. Okay, so this is math.h include mathematical function, and along with this, what we have to include is we have to include graphics.h. Okay, so this graphics.h is having graphics functions. Okay, okay, all the graphic functions are available in this. Okay, so as we have learned already in the first program, okay, so I have shown this first program where we have to go for integer GD and GM. Okay, so I have these two value, integer GD, and GD stand for graphics driver. Okay, and GM stand for graphics mode. Okay, I just write it in the comment here. GD equal to what it indicates, graphics driver. Okay, and GM indicates graphics mode. I write it as directly the mode, and initially we are putting these values or the keyboard as detect and detect. Okay, so why we are putting these values as detect? Because whatever the driver is available in my machine on my computer, it will be detect automatically. So it will detect graphics driver and mode automatically. Integer I value is taken so that for the while loop. Okay, now this my algorithm, DDA line learning algorithm, is having all the floating point arithmetic. Okay, it is having floating point values and arithmetic. So I have declared, that's why I have declared x2 y2 or its float value. Okay, x1 y1 is my starting point, x2 y2 is next point. I have calculated the length, so length is declared, and I am starting my loop from x and y, as well as I am calculating the delta x and delta y. Okay, so we have taken these all the variables, and now we go for initialization of the graphics. Okay, so this indicates graphic initialization. Init graph is the function. I am passing ampersand graphic driver, address of the GD, ampersand GM, and here we have to give the path of the BGI file. Okay, so whatever the machine that you are using in your machine, you just mention the directory name where this BGI directory will be available. If you are having C:/TC bin, or if you are having C:/dash the turbo C or TC slash BGI, or whatever where these BGI files are available, you give the path of it. Okay, after that I am taking these two value as the input from the user. Okay, printf, enter the starting point of the line, and I am taking it with the help of scanf because I have taken this x and y as a floating point so that it is more easy for me for calculation. Okay, so after this, taking the starting point, we are also taking the end point of the line. Okay, printf, enter the end point of the line. So we are taking the x2 and y2 value. Okay, ampersand x2, ampersand y2. Now after this, okay, input the starting point. Okay, I write this in comment so that it is more easy to understand. Input starting and ending point of line. Okay, so this particular thing I have taken using the printf as scanf. I have taken the start point of the line and end point of the line. Okay, so after this, what we have to calculate? We have to calculate the length of the line. Okay, so I just put this in comment. Calculate the length of line. So we are calculating the length of the line. Okay, so how to calculate length? Absolute x2 minus x1 and absolute y2 minus y1, whichever is greater, that is assigned to the length. So absolute x2 minus x1 is greater than absolute y2 minus y1, length is equal to x2 minus absolute x2 minus x1, else the length is equal to y2 minus y1. Okay, so here we are calculating, or we are assigning the highest between x2 minus x1 and, or x2 minus x1 is delta x, we can say. So in between delta x and delta y, whichever is higher, that is assigned to the length. Okay, now after this, what we have to do is we have to calculate as per our algorithm, calculate the dx and dy. So we calculate the delta x and delta y. What is the formula? Dx is equal to x2 minus x1 divided by length, and dy is equal to y2 minus y1 upon length. Okay, Now after that directly our for loop or while loop start. Okay, so before this, okay, I think we are having the initial value of x and y1 is also assigned to this. Okay, so but before doing this, what I have done, I have just printing the values so that it will be visible to me, so that it is easy for me to understand. So I have displayed the length, I have displayed the dx and dy, so just for my information. Okay, just to understand the information, I have displayed the value of length, dx and dy. Okay, then initial calculation. So I'm having x value. What is the initial value? X is equal to x1 plus 0.5, and then we are having the y value is equal to 0.5. Okay, y1 plus 0.5. So I have done initially x is equal to x1 plus 0.5, y is equal to y1 plus y. X and y1, these are my starting point. In the starting point, I am adding just 0.5 value to it so that it will be round up the value. Okay, and then I have declared I is equal to 1, value of I is equal to 1, and then we start with the while loop. Okay, what is our condition? While I is less than length. Okay, so my I will be continued, still it is less than or equal to length, because it is equal to, because I have started I is equal to 1. Okay, and inside the while loop, what is my first thing? I am going to activate my pixel, put pixel. So this put pixel function require integer x. Okay, so is this integer is nothing but the x value. As I'm added 0.5 into it, it will float. Okay, so I'm doing typecasting. So I'm just convert the x into integer, y value into integer, and this 15 indicate the color. Okay, so 15 indicate white color. Okay, so this is the color code. Okay, or I can write directly it as white. Okay, I can write 15, or I can write it as, okay, better to write WHITE. Okay, I can also write it as a white, WHIT, white color. I want to display the pixel with white color, or it is equivalent to value 15. Okay, then what I'm going to do, I just add after plotting the first pixel. Okay, plot the first pixel, I write it here, set, or I say plot, set or plot pixel. Adding the first pixel, what I need to do to find out the next pixel, I know that x is equal to x plus dx. Okay, so calculate the next pixel. What is the formula? X is equal to x plus dx and y is equal to y plus dy. So I'm adding x is equal to x plus dx, I'm adding y is equal to y plus dy, and I is incremented. Again, it will check the condition if I is less than length. Again, next pixel is plot or dot is displayed, and again x is equal to, this process is continued till I is less than or equal to length. After that, I'm going to use the getCH function to see the output of my screen. And after getCH, I think as I have initialized the graphics, I should go for close graph. Okay, the close graph is used to close the graphics function. Okay, as we have initialized here, I'm going to, so this is what my simple C program. Okay, in the program, what is important, I must include math.h because I'm using ABS function. Okay, absolute function is available in the math, or whenever I'm using any function related to mathematics, I use math.h. Graphics related put pixel, all these functions are available in the graphics.h. I will include, and then I will continue with the program. Okay, so let us execute the program. F2 to save the program. I just save my program. F9 to compile the same. So I'm finding it as number of warnings errors are 0. Then I will go for control F9. Okay, in the control F9, now it is asking me the first point, enter the starting point of the line. Okay, so I need to enter the values x1 and y1, starting point of the line. Okay, suppose I consider my starting point is 100 and 100. So I'm starting at the point 100, 100. Now my end point, suppose I consider in x direction it is 200 and y direction it is 300. Okay, so x will be vary from 100 to 200, y will be vary from 100 to 300. Enter. Yes, I think you can find the output is, the line is displayed on the screen. What is the length? I think I have got the length is equal to 200 because the highest between x1 minus, sorry, x2 minus x1 and y2 minus y1. So 200 minus 100 is 100, 300 minus 100 is 200, largest is 200. So length is equal to 200. Very correct. Dx value is 0.5 because I have calculated the value as x2 minus x1 upon length, and dy is equal to 1. Okay, means in x direction it will incremented by 0.5 and in the y direction it is incremented by 1. And you can find the line is displayed on the screen. Okay, line is visible on the screen. Okay, so again we will give to check the correctness of the algorithm or the program that we have implemented. We give one more value to this. Okay, just for our example. So again I executed to F2 to save, F9 and control F9. Okay, Now suppose I want to give the line value again. Okay, so we are knowing what is the center of the screen. What is the center of the screen? I think we have considered that our resolution is 640 by 480. Okay, so 640 divided by 2 means I get it as 320 is my starting point, and 480 divided by 2 means it is 240. So 320 and 240 will be my center of the screen. So I just start my line drawing from the center of the screen, 320 and 240. Okay, now suppose I want to draw, see what I'm saying, suppose I want to draw only the horizontal line. Horizontal line means I want to increase only x, not y value. Okay, so x will be, instead of 320, it will be incremented by 100. So suppose it will be 420. Okay, and I don't want to increment the y value. Vertical line I don't want to draw. So I will keep this 240 as it is. Okay, starting point is 320, 240. End point, because this is my center of the screen, and my end point is 420 and 240. You can find on the screen at the center its line is started and it is moving into the x direction by 100. So I am having the horizontal line and I am not having the vertical line because y value is not changing. Okay, so length is 100. You can find in the here the output, the values are calculated. ds is 1 because it is incrementing in x direction by 1, and dy is equal to 0 because it is not incrementing into the y direction. Okay, so this is what we are calculating, ds and dy, and we calculating the next point, and we can draw the line starting from its start point to the end point. Okay, similarly you can give different examples, different values, and it is possible for us to implement it as a practically. You can implement DDA line drawing algorithm using the C program. Okay, and this is what the example of the C program that we are having. Okay, so I have just done this so that we should understand that practically or using the C program it is possible for us to implement all these algorithms. Okay. Okay, so I just close this window or quit. Okay, so this is what we have learned today. Okay, the implementation of DDA line algorithm through the C program. We can just do the program as per the algorithm, whatever we are having. Okay, it is possible for us to implement it in the form of the program, and we can in a position to complete this. Okay, so as we are proceeding to the Results algorithm or circle generation algorithm, it is possible for us to implement it with the help of the C program. Okay. So thank you all.